ॐ तव कथामृतं तप्तजीवनं कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहं श्रवणमङ्गलं श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः। Let us resume our discussion on Sri Ramakrishna's spiritual discourses with his intimate devotees on Wednesday, 25th February 1885, when Sri Ramakrishna visited the house of Girish Chandra Ghosh on his way to Star Theatre to witness the drama on Vrishaketu. Sri Ramakrishna was discussing a very highly philosophical topic about the oneness of God. We see the variety as various manifestations of a single reality, which is God. And when we get identified with reality, then our spiritual journey ends. We are one with God. Sri Ramakrishna says this is not only a theoretical philosophy, it is an actual realization. This we have discussed at length in our several discourses on previous Sundays. That giving various examples also, that when the cockroach is constantly thinking of Kumre Poka, it becomes the Kumre Poka and then the journey ends. So by constantly thinking of God, when we become God, then our goal is over. It's a journey from the human to divine. But till we attain that reality, till we realize our identity with God, जब तक भगवान के साथ हमारा अभेद अनुभूति नहीं हो रहा है, तब तक क्या करना चाहिए? What is to be done? Because in reality, though we are one with God, that ये हम कहते हैं कि अहम ब्रह्मास्मि, there is महावाक्य, I am Brahman. But so far as our present realization is concerned, it is only a theoretical statement. In reality, I don't feel I am Brahman, which is fact. But so far as the philosophy is concerned, it is true. So till we get to that stage of realization, what is to be done? That Sri Ramakrishna says, we have to have an attitude with God. As long as God retains the ego in man, because man is man, I am not finding that I am God, I think I am man. He should establish a definite relationship with God, calling on Him as master, mother, friend, or the like. This has to be properly understood. Says that झिंगूर जब कुमड़े कीड़ा बन जाता है तब सब कुछ हो गए। तो कुमूर कीड़ा को सोचते सोचते झिंगूर निश्चल हो जाते हैं, हिलता नहीं, अंत में कुमूर कीड़ा ही बन जाता है। भक्त भी उनका चिंतन करते करते अहंग शून्य बन जाती है, फिर देखता है वो ही मैं हूँ वो हूँ. When the devotee constantly thinks of God, ultimately he finds no difference between God. He says, I am God and God is me. Now, झिंगुर जब कुमड़ कीड़ा बन गया तब सब कुछ हो गया, तभी मुक्ति हो गया. That is the end of the journey. जब तक उन्होंने मैंपन को रखा तब तक एक भाव का सहारा लेकर उन्हें पुकारना पड़ता है, शांतो दास्य वात्सल्य ये सब. So it is a relative existence. As long as we feel that I am different from God, so in that stage it is not proper to say I am God. In that case we have to think that I belong to God. So we have to establish a divine relationship with God, and here the various relations, 3 relations have been given, that Shanta, Dasya, Vatsalya. Though there are other relations, but here Sakhya and Madhur is left out. So this now तब तक भाव इसका दिए शांत दास्य वात्सल्य ये सब. शांत भाव is that we maintain a distant relation with God. God is there and I am here and I worship God from a distance with respect. Shanta bhav is respect that the rishis had, that God is all powerful, He is infinity and we worship Him from a distance. We have explained this with the song of Rabindranath, that Mahavishya Mahakasha Mahakala Maje Ami Manavika Ki Brahmi Vishwa Smisha. So God is there, He is Virat, He is divine, and I am keeping a distance. I love Him from a distance. The second is a closer relation with God, like Hanumanji with Rama, that I am a servant of God. Whatever I am doing is a command of God. I am doing the work as His servant. And another is Vatsalya, that we consider God our very own, our mother. Now, Vatsalya is of 2 varieties. One is that we consider God as our child, as Jashoda considers Sri Krishna as her dear child. And another is we consider God as our mother, as Sri Ramakrishna did. Sri Ramakrishna didn't consider Srima Kali as his child, but as his mother. So herein comes the very special contribution of Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna says that this mother-child relation is the ultimate of the spiritual realization. This is a special contribution Sri Ramakrishna has. This we have to make a special consideration. And it is a very rare this incident in a spiritual history that Sri Ramakrishna, being a male person, he assumed the form of a female personality, wearing saris, ornas, and draping like women, and it accompanied with the women folk of the household of Mathurnath Biswas. He worshipped Divine Mother as her maid servant. That Hanumanji is not a maid servant. Hanumanji is, the bhava is that we are a male servant. Bhagavan is our master, we are his servant. But here Sri Ramakrishna projected another idea, that is a maid servant of the Divine Mother. Now he has explained here that when he considered himself as a maid servant and a female servant of the Divine Mother, then he was able to conquer the lust very easily. So when the God is considered as the ultimate female principle and we consider ourselves as the maid servant, then that relation becomes very normal. Whenever there is an idea of differentiation of sex, then there is difficulty. But when a person considers he is the same sex as Divine Mother, then the devotion becomes uniflow, much deeper. This is a new realization of Sri Ramakrishna. This usually we do not find in the history of the literature. Sri Ramakrishna did it in his own life and proved that this is a valid method. Not only that, he said this is the ultimate word of spiritual realization. This we have to make a special note. That वो जो आद्या शक्ति है, one must worship the आद्या शक्ति. I look on all women as the mother. The attitude of looking on woman as a mother is very pure. The Tantra mentions the Vamachara method also. Vamachara literally means that left hand path, Vamachara. According to this attitude, the aspirant seeks to conquer lust by fulfilling its urge. But this is not a very good method. It causes the aspirant's downfall. A devotee keeping an object of enjoyment near him has reason to be afraid. Looking on woman as mother is like fasting on the Ekadashi. So this is the method Sri Ramakrishna is proposing. That he also did the Shodashi Puja, looking at woman as the mother, and he says that is the ultimate word of the spiritual realization. Looking at woman as the mother, mother worship. O God, Thou art my mother and I am Thy child. This is the last word in spirituality. The last word in spirituality, that I am your child and you are my mother. So this is the, after Sri Ramakrishna has practiced various spiritual disciplines. He has tasted God by jnana, bhakti, different methods, that Ramachandra, Sri Krishna, Devi, Shiva, etc. Even in other religions, Hinduism, Muslim, Islam, Christianity, etc. Having, and even in Advaita Vedanta, having crossed all the avenues of spiritual realization, ultimately he is declaring last word is the mother worship. And he worshipped mother in a living woman who was no other than his wife. So he has declared that mother, any woman, is the representation of the Divine Mother, irrespective of his position. So this is the holistic look of the entire womankind. That mother is present in the form of every other woman in this world. So this gives a holistic view of life, and that is the, Sri Ramakrishna says, the safest and purest form of worship the last word. And having attained, he offered all his sadhana at the feet of the Divine Mother in the form of his wife, and he attained perfection. Until then, he behaved and dressed as a woman and worshipped the Divine Mother. Now, in a Tantra, it is reverse. Tantra, the women are used an object of enjoyment, and that enjoyment is transcended. But Sri Ramakrishna has never recommended Tantra. This is a risky path and we should not follow. He has said the do's and don'ts. So one need not do the Tantra practice, though it is a valid method according to the scriptures. Now, Sri Ramakrishna had this quarrel with his other people. They say that this Tantra is a valid method. They argued why Sri Ramakrishna would not accept it. He said, no, I would not accept, it is not meant for me, and he didn't recommend it for others also. So we are benefited by the results of the spiritual experimentation of Sri Ramakrishna. We did not make any further experiment. Sri Ramakrishna has experimented, followed various paths, and has declared for us the safest journey, safest way, which is the worship of the Divine Mother. He himself worshipped the Divine Mother as his own mother. He said that the mother who is in the temple and the mother who is in the Nahabat as his Garbhadharani, and the mother who is present as a wife and doing it out of service, these three are one and the same. There is only one mother in the universe. Whatever woman form she can take, she is always benign. We should take refuge in her, and our spiritual goal is ensured. Simple method. So he has promulgated the mother worship, and in order that we can do this mother worship spontaneously, he projected Srimad Sharda Devi before the society, so that by catching hold, following her, we can reach the goal. This is the method he is saying. Now, he is telling that in the spiritual disciplines, various ways has been prescribed. In some discipline, there is a very strict code of conduct. In some discipline, there are some allowance of sensual pleasures also, because very strict code of conduct may not be congenial for one and all. So there is in prescriptions, injunctions that we can have some amount of enjoyment also. He gives it, presents it as an example. Common example, the fasting on the day of Ekadashi. Very common the ritual, the rite that is followed in the society, that people do fast on the Ekadashi day, 11th day of the moon. So, now the fasting can be of various degree. One fasting is fasting without even sipping a drop of water, Nirjala Ekadashi. There is another way of fasting which is not so strict. You can take water, but not any solid food. So that is also fasting. You are not taking even a drop of water. Solid is also included. That is Nirjala Ekadashi. But another is that you can take water and a restricted way of this food, solid food, not the normal food, some very restricted items. See, normally we take rice, but this person does not take rice on that day, he takes some puri. So we see that varieties of these fasting methods have been prescribed depending on the degree of austerity of the spiritual aspirant. Person who is very sincere, he doesn't want to make a compromise, his way of observance of fast will be Nirjala Ekadashi. He does not sip a drop of water. But coming down to the lower, more amicable settlement, that they do the Ekadashi with this fasting, but the desired degree. They take some fruits and sweets, that no other food, rice, etc. is not taken. That is also fasting. That Phalmul Ke Ekadashi. Fasting on fruits. You take fruit, but not any cereal. There is another person. One is taking everything, the other little more. That is not fasting. Those who are vegetarian and they are very strict, then on Ekadashi days they take on fruits only, but not on cereals, not on cereal. And some people will take that not only some fruits, and he takes some cereal also, but in desired degree. Like varieties of way of performing a simple fasting principle. Similarly, in our spiritual life, we can do the spiritual practice in a varieties of dimension. So this is important, that to what extent we want to employ our time to reach the goal. Most people think goal is there and we can travel leisurely. There is no hurry. If this birth we cannot do, you can try next birth and so on. But those who are sincere, serious, they want to realize God here and now. For them a different package is necessary. They cannot be so lackadaisical that whatever comes in the way, it has to be done. No. Life is precious, and when you have decided to see God in this life, so not a single moment should be wasted. First, resolve should be there. When a single moment should be wasted, all our attention, time and energy should be directed to the one-pointed agenda. We have to realize God in any way within this parameter of this physical body. So there should be the utter seriousness about the movement of my spiritual dimension of my life. That's what has been said. Now, and for that, we have to establish a loving relationship with God. And within that relationship, we should maintain a lifestyle which is extremely conscious and austere. You cannot do very that lackadaisical step relation and then lead an indifferent life and aspire to realize God. Nothing like that. So we have to take a very serious stand within us. We should establish a loving relation with God and try to enrich our life with divine joy and experience. Now in this discipline, Sri Ramakrishna is warning, he is giving a chetamani, warning to the devotees that there are the two varieties of spiritual practitioners. One is Sannyasin, all renouncing monks, and the other is householder. Now, there are two different ways. So, we have to understand those who belong to the sannyasi variety, they have one set of discipline, and those who are householder discharging various duties, they have another set of discipline. We shouldn't mix. Being a sannyasi, we should not take over the householder's duty and vice versa. Now, what about the sannyasins? What is the prescription? He says they have Nirjala Ekadashi. Compared to that, they must have a very strict code of conduct. Sannyasin. Whereas the householders, they have a mediocre code of conduct. This is important. One is without any compromise, that has a very strict code of conduct regarding observance of continence and transactions with women and money. He said that what is the difference between the sannyasin and the householder? The sannyasin has a very strict code of conduct, but the householders are permitted to have a very this compromised life. This is not bad, Sri Ramakrishna is saying. And unless we maintain the professional discipline, we cannot reach the goal. Sannyasin cannot behave like a householder, not permitted. So if sannyasin behaves like householder, then whatever may be his renunciation, he can't go to reach the goal. That's why Sri Ramakrishna says one has to be very careful, very, very careful. मातृभाव मनो निर्जला एकादशी है, किसी भोग की गंध नहीं है। दूसरी है फल मूल खाकर एकादशी, और तीसरी पूरी मिठाई खाकर एकादशी, पूरी मिठाई खाकर। मेरी निर्जला एकादशी है, मैंने मातृभाव से 16 वर्ष की कुमारी की पूजा की थी। स्तन मातृस्तन है, योनि मातृयोनि है। यह मातृभाव साधना की अंतिम बात है। तुम माँ हो, मैं तुम्हारा बालक हूँ, यही अंतिम बात है। This is how Sri Ramakrishna culminated his spiritual life. Now, what is his prescription? What he wants us to do? सन्यासी की निर्जल एकादशी है। यदि सन्यासी भोग रखता है तभी भय है, कामिनी कांचन भोग है। जैसे थूक कर फिर उसी थूक को चाट लेना, रुपया पैसे मान इज्जत इंद्रिय सुख ये सब भोग है। सन्यासी को स्त्री भक्त से साथ बैठना या वार्तालाप करना भी दोष है। इसमें अपनी भी हानि और दूसरों की भी हानि है। इससे दूसरे लोगों के शिक्षा नहीं मिलती, लोक शिक्षा नहीं होती। सन्यासी का शरीर धारण लोक शिक्षा के लिए है। Now, here the sannyasi has a dual role. One is to remain perfect and also to set an example. Life of renunciation. It has been said, by renunciation alone the immortality is achieved. The sannyasin takes this path of renunciation. There are two paths. One is path of renunciation and another is path of enjoyment. One is that vairagya, another is parthiva. In the path of renunciation is the sannyasin takes this path of renunciation, then there should be total disassociation with the objects of sense pleasure and name and fame. 4 things to be renounced: Kamini, Kanchan, Nam, Josh. This is hankering for, desire for sensual pleasures, Kam. Then desire to have money, Kanchan. Then the desire to have name and fame, Man, Badai. And the desire to have the further enjoyments of life, that this association, recognition of so many people, Man. His name and fame, his man, hankering for sensual pleasures and money. These are the normal snares of the householder's life. Sannyasin cannot afford to have such attachments and also claim that he wants to realize God. Once he has taken sannyas is a vow. Once he has taken a vow to give up his hearth and home, he has to stick to the strict discipline to stay away from all these snares of life. That is the life of renunciation. Wherever he is, he must follow, and as an example, his life is an example for others to replicate. Whereas the householders, they need not follow such strict disciplines. They can call on God and they can design on the will of God. God will take care of them. But a sannyasin is a full-timer. His profession is a signboard for others to follow. So the sannyasin has a dual role to play. Here it has been said here. One is to maintain his internal purity, and the other is to demonstrate that how a man of renunciation look like, how does he behave. His life is an illustration. At the same time, he is practicing himself as a method to be with God all the time. So we will consider this discussion on this matter further in our next Sunday class, which will be 2 weeks from now. Niram janam nityam ananta rupam bhaktanukampadhita vigraham vai Ishavataram parameshamidyam tam Ramakrishnam shivasa namama. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. We would like to announce that Srimad Swami Muktinathanandaji is coming on 21st. So next Sunday we won't have any Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna class because he will be here. And now we close with the chanting of the Lord. Please join with me. Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om. Now the announcements. Day after tomorrow is the Ratha Jatra, that is on the 20th of June. So the structure of the Devi Durga Katham will be worshipped in the Durga Mandap. The program will be forwarded to you over YouTube. It starts from morning 8 o'clock puja and Pushpanjali, bhajan, and then this Ratha Jatra is a very pavan day, is celebrated here. Now, with this, day after tomorrow is the International Yoga Day also. Is on the following day, that is 21st June, International Yoga Day. We give the certificates for those who have been practicing Yogasana for the last 21 days, both here in Nursing College. And that marks the coincidence of the arrival of Swami Muktinathanandaji Maharaj, the Vice President of Ramakrishna Math and Ramakrishna Mission, is coming on 21st of June and stay till 25th. In between, he will give Mantra Diksha on 23rd and 24th June in the main temple. So, those of you who wish to make pranam to him, they come and visit. Well, every evening there will be pranam in the old shrine. And those who want to be initiated, they have to fill up a form, talk to us, and inquire about the details. So, in last several weekends, we have been sitting with the persons who are towards their intention to become initiated. Now also there will be talk in the old shrine. Those who are interested to know about what is initiation, they are welcome to come there, and we will advise them accordingly. Thank you.